this is probably going to be the last Safemoon video I do. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm curious what you guys think. How do you guys think Safemoon is going to end? You know, whether you're pro Safemoon or anti Safemoon. I don't think there's a lot of possibilities for it. And I'm curious if the price never went to the all-time high and it just kind of bounced up and down, and they released their utilities. Let's say they released all their utilities and the price never went back to all-time high or never went past all-time high. Would you guys be okay with that? You know, I think that's a really good question to ask the Safemoon Army, because if we release our utilities, but the price never goes past here, then basically everybody who was buying during all of these times right here was getting screwed over, and they never gained profits on their return. That's a question I'm curious about. If you guys let me know down in the comments, if the price never goes back to all-time high, would you be okay with Safemoon? Would you be happy with Safemoon? Would you consider Safemoon a success if the price never went to all-time high after, if they released all their utilities, which, by the way, they just seem to not be coming out? So if you go look at John Croni's Twitter, you'll see that like all his posts is just him getting wrecked by his own community. He still gets like maybe 1,000 to a couple thousand likes on his post on Twitter, but everything else has died down. You know, the community for Safemoon has just been absolutely wrecked, from multiple things, you know, from not releasing the utilities, the delays, the lack of communication. They don't do their 32 podcasts. They don't do AMAs. They're not explaining what's going on. They're just saying, be patient and we're working. The delaying of utilities has been massive in, you know, destroying investors' confidence. But on top of that, the FUD, the true FUD that has not been resolved through them talking about it or dealing with it or discussing it or, you know, countering it. They're not telling us if the FUD, the heavy FUD regarding John and Bitmart and the millions of dollars, they are unwilling to discuss that and determine whether that's true or not, has had a massive impact on dealing with investors' confidence. So it doesn't really matter like what your perspective is. This is just what has happened. John said the exchange and blockchain were coming out at the end of 2021. Then he said that the exchange was coming out in the summer of 2022. Then they said multiple times, John has multiple Twitter posts of him saying that the exchange is coming out this year. And now we're down to 1 month left, and we're going to see if the exchange does come out. I think a lot of people feel like it's not going to. We'll see what happens. Ultimately, I think that the number one utility, like the thing that they should have prioritized the most, was its community, to make sure that we are confident and trusting in the team. The community has been absolutely wrecked and destroyed by these things, and the team basically just doesn't deal with that. They just blow off their entire army that wants to know, that wants more communication, that wants to know about the products being delayed, and wants to know what happened with the money. Basically, just have more transparency around those things. Communicate where you're at. If there's delays going on, communicate that. If whatever's going on, just make us feel like more like part of the process. At least there's the communication instead of just trust me, bro, even though we failed multiple times to deliver. So it's very hard to trust them after they've failed so many times and after they've basically lied to us based off of their performance. So that leaves me in an interesting position. You know, I built crypto control off this topic. I built it off of Safemoon, and this is probably going to be the last Safemoon video I do unless some major news comes out. Major events, which is kind of something I'm going to talk about towards the end of this video, is basically how Safemoon could end, the possible ways that I can think of that Safemoon could end. The believer of Safemoon sees it ending as going to the moon with the J-curve because they're prepping and doing everything right. Other possibilities for Safemoon, their utilities release, but they are never enough to get the price to go up again. So they finally release these products and the price just never goes up, and we're left with this project that doesn't benefit it's the people that invested in it, the long-term vision, which are the same people that the team has been convincing to invest in the long-term vision. You know, the team has been saying we're working on major things, trust in us, hodl, all these things have been heavily promoted from the people in charge of the project. So it's really up to them to deliver, not just on utilities, but on the price going up, because that's what you're telling them is, hey, this is worth investing in and you're going to get back on your investment. That's what we're telling investors, right? So if that doesn't happen and you release products that you are a failure and you lied to your investors and you were a terrible investment and you profited off their loss, which is, they are taken care of. It's unfortunate that they have the Safemoon HQ and they're all getting paid. And, most of the Safemoon army are down. They invested a lot, crazy amounts. People invested 50,000, 100,000, like crazy amount of people have invested a massive amount of money into Safemoon, way down. And, we're all way down, but the people at the top, the whales and the team are taken care of. Everybody who was on the team got paid out basically one way or the other. And John is obviously rich and living in Utah, has an extremely nice house, nice cars, and has literally an HQ where they barely have anybody working, barely getting anything done. They hired John Madden's video guy, and they've only put out a couple videos. The only videos they're putting out now are promoting other tokens, which is one way that they're making money. But that, to me, that's a major problem, is how Safemoon could end is if they run out of money. If Safemoon runs out of money, and they do seem to be spending it at an excessive amount, right? You're paying a bunch of people's salaries, plus however much it takes to run a business, plus however much it takes to do all the things that they're doing, the things they're investing in. If they ran out of money, it would just be a dead project. Other than doing the swap listings, which how long can that go on before projects finally decide to stop doing that? They have to pay a lot of money to get listed on become a Safemoon partner, and they have different levels of that. And from what I've seen, most of that is just not beneficial to the little projects. It usually is not beneficial. And some bad projects have gotten listed. Some very bad projects have gotten listed on the swap. Basically, you're profiting off the Safemoon army even further, right? Because that's what's happening is we'll list you on our swap, we'll promote you to our massive audience, and they might buy your token. And that's what's worth getting on the Safemoon swap and those projects' eyes. Oh, we'll get a lot of attention because we're a small project. Once again, the Safemoon army is the product, and the money is being made off of us, and we are not being treated right. We're not being taken care of. We're not being prioritized. So if they ran out of money, I think it'd be a dead project. And I think that how they would run out of money is if the swap stopped making money. I think that's the only way that they're generating money, unless they just keep selling us clothes. I don't know. Safemoon has a good look to it. Maybe they should just stick to clothing brands. The other possibility that I can think of would be the SEC, or, John goes to jail, jail time. SBF is on the run right now, and even though tons of money has been lost and it appears to be through fraud, he's fine. But people that have done less have gotten caught. It kind of just depends on who you know. So does John know the right people, and has he done enough stuff to get him put in jail? I don't know. It looks bad. They won't address it. They're willing to lose and destroy their community, their number one utility, over not addressing that. That's how much they care about the Safemoon army, is they don't. They only care about you if you follow them, listen to them, and blindly support them no matter what. So yeah, these are the options that I personally see as the potential for Safemoon's future. The Moon one, I'm just becoming less and less. I've always said, hey, you never know, but for me, that one's becoming just this tiny percentage in my perspective. In your perspective, you might think it's a huge percentage, and that's fine. I'm not trying to convince you to sell. Just in my own personal opinion, which I've been wrong on many projects, I don't see that as being very likely anymore. However, I would say if there was a potential to make money off of Safemoon, I think that the price is going to keep going down, and that there might be a potential to do a little trade, a little flip, if they release some big project, because so many people would be buying on it, right? And people already know these things. People are playing the Safemoon army like crazy. The whales, the traders, they know they're playing the Safemoon army. The Safemoon army was buying the dip the entire time, and they were just exit liquidity for whales. They were just giving profits to whales who've been taking profits the entire time the price has been going down. So you yourself, if you wanted to, could choose to do that. If you know that a bunch of people are about to buy, you could, buy before that and sell whenever you think it's going to go to the top. So I think that's probably the smartest play for Safemoon right now. But so many people are so far down that it's just not worth selling for them. And I understand that unless you're trying to. The thing is, like, if you made good money on another project and you lost a lot of money on Safemoon, you could offset what you owe to the government by selling that and then cashing it out and then claiming it on your taxes, showing your loss versus your gains. And you could offset a massive gain if you made that. So keep that in mind, especially if you could just easily buy back into Safemoon. So you sell at that major loss, buy back in, be able to offset the insane amount that the government takes from you for your capital gains. So yeah, those are only like 3 options that I see is like, and I don't really see the moon one as an option, but you know, you just never know. The moon, the jail time, or SEC shuts Safemoon down for some reason or comes after them and just makes it impossible for them to continue running, or they just run out of cash. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, what you think is going to happen, in what order you think it's going to happen. They technically have this process. From my perspective, there's obviously a lot of information on the other side that I don't know because they don't tell us. I don't know how long they can potentially keep this going, where they basically keep getting swap partners or selling merch to the Safemoon Army. Or maybe they finally release a utility that people might buy more into and they're able to make profit off of that because now part of the tax does go towards the team. There's so many potentials to still make money off the Safemoon Army right now. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and I'll do my best to respond to everybody. I probably will not be covering Safemoon unless something major happens, like John goes to jail, the SEC happens, they run out of cash, major events around Safemoon, positive or negative. I'll still be there for it. It's just basically dead right now. And I'm going to take this channel and I'm going to focus on making high quality crypto content, not on Safemoon, and that's okay. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. If the only reason you watched my channel was because it's the Safemoon information, that's totally fine. However, I'm going to keep bettering myself and keep covering other cryptocurrencies and bring as much value and entertainment to these videos as I can. So probably from here on out, the videos are going to just be high quality on different subjects within the crypto space that I think are interesting, that I think you guys will find interesting. And I'm going to make those videos as pleasing as possible, as far as how they sound, how they look, and what the information is about. So yeah, it's been great covering Safemoon. I would honestly prefer it to do well. It just doesn't seem like the right people have been in charge the entire time. And you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next video.